Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Karen Johnson, the Earth Channel, here with you. I'm also known as the Cosmic Earth Amy. That's my handle on YouTube. And I've been doing ASMR videos for a few months now. Before that, my videos were pretty much strictly about astrology. And today's video will be a little bit of a return to astrology. I will do my best to make it soft-spoken. However, it's also a bit of a collaboration or collab with the ASMR Samurai, Sam as I call him, and others do too. I gave him a New Year reading, and it actually ended up also being a little bit of a custom reading, or even an introductory reading. It was a little bit of a custom larger reading because I covered more than just 2023 with him. Since it was the first reading I had ever given him, I talked about his chart in general for life, not just for the year, to give a better understanding of how that would play into this year. So I do want to wish you all Happy New Year, and I do want to also share with you that while I cannot give you all free readings, I would love to give you a discount, and I will put the information for you to get a reading with this discount in the description below this video. It will be a code that you can use at my website for 30% off. My website is amykarenjohnson.com. That will also be in the description below this video, and I will just put the code there, so please go down there to look for that. And basically, a yearly reading is a really powerful tool to help you understand how you can best use your time this year. When are the best times to really push forward, whereas when are the better times to focus on something different or make sure that you're getting plenty of rest, that kind of thing. And without that knowledge, a lot of people struggle because they try to do things at the wrong time, or they assume it's always going to be this way, that they're always going to have to struggle. I know that this past year for me was really awesome in terms of the fact that I achieved writing my first book, which information I will also put below this video. But I also learned quite a lot through that experience and hope to apply what I learned to my second book, hopefully in 2023. But without astrology, it would be pretty difficult for me to learn from that experience, as well as have the hope and the energy to do it again, because it was quite a bit more work than I realized, but I also have a lot more resources than I did the first time now. So I will share with you a little bit of a sample of the reading that I did for Sam. I will tag him in the description as well so that you can see his channel there, where he does some great ASMR videos. And I hope to also be including a little bit of a review from him on how he felt that the reading helped him, applied to him, gave him, hope or optimism about certain things, that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll check out my website. I do have my book available as an ebook at the top of the page that I will provide. If you'd like to get it that way, it's also on Amazon and Audible. And then below the ebook offering on the webpage is my list of readings, and if you scroll down and you click on it, you'll see the price, you'll see a description. You can do a bundle of 3, whatever works best for you. I will make that code apply to all of those readings, or you can do a custom reading, kind of like what I gave for Sam. So this 2-minute sample, it's very short, and it's just giving a little bit of an introduction, but it will hopefully give you a feel for what you can look for and enjoy in a reading of your own. I don't know that people normally do astrological readings with ASMR, but we'll sort of try to do that hybrid with this reading. So, if I were to sum up 2023 for you, I think what I would say is that this is going to be the year where you build foundations for things to come in your life. And I was going to say where you come into your own, but I do think that you will need to build a foundation this year for yourself in many ways, for your health and for your career in particular. And you will continue to build on that. The thing that astrology shows us is that we are all multi-layered beings, and we are more complex than we realize most of the time. We go through periods where it seems very clear who we are, what we are like, and there's a certain consistency to that, of course, but we very quickly forget how we were in previous periods compared to periods that we go through even a couple of years later. But I'm not sure yet. I wanted to share with you a little bit of an excerpt from one of my favorite books of all time, Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. I've read this book at least once, actually reading it like this, probably at least a couple of times, but I've also listened to it multiple times. Steve Jobs actually read this book many times throughout his lifetime. And so I'd just like to read this soft-spoken for you so you can get another perspective on astrology, actually, and how it's used in the East. So, Paramahansa Yogananda, to give you just a little bit of background, his master or guru is named Sri Yukteswar, and before he is given the name Paramahansa Yogananda, he goes by the name that he was given at birth, which is Mukunda. So those are the two people who will be talking here. Sri Yukteswar, master, the guru, and Mukunda, the younger Yogananda. Mukunda, why don't you get an astrological armlet? Should I, master? I don't believe in astrology. It is not a question of belief. The scientific attitude one should take on any subject is whether it is true. The law of gravitation worked as efficiently before Newton as after him. The cosmos would be fairly chaotic if its laws could not operate without the sanction of human belief. Charlatans have brought the ancient stellar science to its present disrepute. Astrology is too vast, both mathematically and philosophically, to be rightly grasped except by men of profound understanding, and women. They're using men as the collective. If ignoramuses misread the heavens and see there a scrawl instead of a script, that is to be expected in this imperfect world. One should not dismiss the wisdom with the wise. All parts of creation are linked together and interchange their influences. The balanced rhythm of the universe is rooted in reciprocity, my guru continued. Man, in his human aspect, has to combat two sets of forces. First, the tumults within his being, caused by the admixture of earth, water, fire, air, and ethereal elements. Second, the outer disintegrating powers of nature. So long as man struggles with his mortality, he is affected by the myriad mutations of heaven and earth. Astrology is the study of man's response to planetary stimuli. The stars have no conscious benevolence or animosity. They merely send forth positive and negative radiations. Of themselves, these do not help or harm humanity, but offer a lawful channel for the outward operation of cause-effect equilibriums that each man has set into motion in the past. A child is born on that day and at that hour when the celestial rays are in mathematical harmony with his or her individual karma. His horoscope is a challenging portrait, revealing his unalterable past and its probable future results. But the natal chart can be rightly interpreted only by men or women of intuitive wisdom. These are few. The message boldly blazoned across the heavens at the moment of birth is not meant to emphasize fate, the result of good and evil in the past, but to arouse man's will to escape from his universal thraldom. What he has done, he can undo. None other than himself was the investigator of the causes of whatever effects are now prevalent in his life. He can overcome any limitation because he created it by his own actions in the first place, and because he possesses spiritual resources that are not subject to planetary pressure. Superstitious awe of astrology makes one an automaton, slavishly dependent on mechanical guidance. The wise man or woman defeats his planets, which is to say, his past, by transferring his allegiance from the creation to the Creator. The more he realizes his unity with Spirit, the less he can be dominated by matter. The soul is ever free. It is deathless because birthless. It cannot be regimented by the stars. Man is a soul and has a body. When he properly places his sense of identity, he leaves behind all compulsive patterns. So long as he remains confused in his ordinary state of spiritual amnesia, he will know the subtle fetters of environmental law. God is harmony. The devotee who attunes himself will never perform any action amiss. His activities will be correctly and naturally timed to accord with astrological law. After deep prayer and meditation, he is in touch with his divine consciousness. There is no greater power than that inward protection. Then, dear master, why do you want me to wear an astrological bangle? I ventured this question after a long silence. I had tried to assimilate Sri Yukteswar's noble exposition, which contained thoughts very new to me. It is only when a traveler has reached his goal that he is justified in discarding his maps. During the journey, he takes advantage of any convenient shortcut. The ancient rishis discovered many ways to curtail the period of man's exile in delusion. There are certain mechanical features in the law of karma that can be skillfully adjusted by the fingers of wisdom. I think I'll stop there. It does go on a bit after that as well, and it's all great. But it's a little longer than I remembered, so I'm going to leave it there for the moment. If you would like to hear the rest, let me know, and maybe I'll put that in another video soon. Again, that was from Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. I hope you enjoyed that excerpt about astrology. He lived at about the same time as Gandhi, just so you know, in India, and did come to America and open centers here, which I believe are still in operation today and have expanded since then. So he was a really key person in connecting East and West, among others. But this book has been published and distributed widely, which is really impressive for that time. Thanks so much for watching today. Please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you have any input, questions on the kinds of things you might like to see if you can get out of astrology for yourself. It's highly individualized, so it will be different for all of you. Namaste, beloveds. Happy New Year.